We've been doing a lot of water lately. This is water, sort of. Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make a waterfall. Well, we're going to make a paper waterfall. It's going to be fun. This is going to be a little bit different than what I've done before. And I think it'll be fun for you to watch how I figured it out. Let's check out my workspace and we'll get started. All right, this is my workspace for today, and you'll recognize these cute faces from the last layout that we did on Wednesday. So this peekaboo went right here, but until I can adhere it, I just generally will just kind of add it, stick it in behind a picture like that, just so it doesn't get lost. Anyway. I'm going to flip this page, and those of you who have tried this will know what we're doing today. Yes, this means we're doing a waterfall. What we're doing, it's not a huge waterfall. I've done a really, really large one before that had a super large number of pockets. We're spreading those pockets into 2 pages today, just because I think it will look nicer in the album to do it this way. And we're doing a horizontal waterfall today instead of a vertical one, which is new for me. So hopefully it will be fun for you. That means we're going to be taking this template and turning it sideways. Okay, we're going to have 4 pockets on each page, and so we're going to use this purple column right here to do our layouts when we actually adhere those Peekaboo Pockets on. For now, I'm going to set that aside, and I'm just going to show you kind of what I've pre-done to speed this along just a little bit. So the photos we're doing today are for an area of Ireland called the Burren. I don't know how much you know about Ireland. I knew nothing about the Burren. I didn't know it existed. I didn't know what it was. And so this was all very new for me. But the Burren is an area that is a protected nature preserve. And there is a perfumery that is a part of the Burren, and they are the only ones, from what I understand, and maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but I believe they're the only ones that are allowed to harvest any of the herbs or flowers that are grown in the Burren to create their special soaps and perfumes. Not perfumes, but they do lotions and soaps and lip protection and different things like that. And they are very, very natural scents and very light. Most of them are very light. So really, really pretty. And I had this paper from a while ago that was called, yes, I'm not remembering, and I didn't write it down. Meadows, something Meadows. If you remember what this one was, would you put it in the comments? Because I would love for people to know. But it's from a while back, so it's not likely that you would have it, and you for sure cannot access it on the website, unfortunately. But what I did was I just took 3 of those papers and I divided them into 8-inch sections. And then I divided the center one in half into 2 4-inch sections and welded them together. And you can see this one is not quite, my welding material didn't go all the way to the edge. So it's bent just a little bit from my waiting to be able to do this for you. But when I put it on the page, it will look much nicer. These are going to be our cover sheets. That means we're going to be cutting these. and then they will go into each of the different pockets. All right. So we're going to use these as our covers. My base sheets for the pockets are going to be this really pretty cardstock that is this is our dual shade purple cardstock that I think you can still get on the website. And we're going to use these for the bases for our Peekaboo Pockets. Now I've already separated my pictures out so that I know how many Peekaboo Pockets I'm going to want to do. When you do a page like this, I feel like it's really important for you to really know just how many photos you are going to want to use and determine whether it would suit those photos better to do them horizontally or vertically. That's an important decision to make right off the bat. And I like to, once I know which photos I'm going to use, I actually pull the Peekaboo Pockets out and I start sort of preloading them with the photos that I'm going to want to use so that I can see what it might look like for me to add those photos. Okay, so that's why my photos are inside here. Each of these pages is going to have 4 Peekaboo Pockets. So 8 different sides for those 4 Peekaboo Pockets, and then an additional side that will be on the bottom of the page. And so I do need a base sheet also to go with these. And I will need to pull that out because I have not done that yet. So we'll probably need to add that in. Let me do that really quick. Okay, so these are going to be my base sheets, and these come from an accessory pack to one of our Croptoberfests a little while back. So also a little ways off, but very, very general and good for these type of layouts. Okay, so I'm going to use one on either page, so we'll set those there. Now I also am going to need 2 Peekaboo Pockets, and I thought I had some sitting out here, but I said Peekaboo Pockets, but I meant page protectors. Sorry. Ooh. Okay, so we are going to use 2 page protectors, and we're going to add our page protectors in or onto our pages now rather than waiting for the other page, the page on the back, to be completed. So we need one for each of our hinged pages. And but before we put those on, we do have a little bit of a procedure to go through. So I'm just going to stack this together and move it off to the side here just a little. All right, so we've got our page protector. So the first thing that I need is my very first Peekaboo Pocket, which is going to be this one. And I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to grip my page. So here's my finished page from last time. This is going to be on the back. We're going to flip this over, and then these Peekaboos are going to be on this side. Okay, so even without finishing this Peekaboo Pocket just yet, I can go ahead and get it ready and get the page going. I'm going to take my precision point scissors. I'm going to take the Peekaboo Pocket, and right here on where the adhesive is and where that pocket part begins, see right there, I'm going to take my scissors at where the pocket begins and just cut a little 45-degree angle off. of the Peekaboo Pocket. Okay, going to do the same thing on this side. Starting at the beginning of the pocket and working towards the outside of the adhesive. We're just going to trim that off, okay? Then we're going to come in and we're going to remove that paper that's covering the adhesive. That can just go away. We're going to fold the adhesive over and we're going to align that with the top of our page because this is going to be a vertical page. Oh no, actually, I take that back. Okay, so normally if you were doing a page that was vertical, not horizontal, but vertical, you would adhere this first and then put the Peekaboo pocket, or then put your base page on. Adhere this first, then put your base page on, and then you would add the page protector on top of it. But the page protector is going to be going over this way, and I need this to still be able to flip. So I'm sorry, I am leading you down the wrong path. So let's go ahead and back up a second. We're going to add our base paper first. Sometimes I'm working through this in my own head as I'm teaching you how to do it. So I apologize for overstepping there, but still working things out in my own head. All right, so we're going to put this up against the jeeping, just like that. Put that down. Okay, there's our base page. Now we're going to come in with our Peekaboo pocket. I'm going to remove this little, our page protector. Gosh, I want to call that a Peekaboo pocket so badly. Why? I don't know. You can put either side in. It really does not matter at this point because we are just going to slide this guy on. And just because I have more going on this side, I'm going to flip it over. And we're going to just slide this guy right on here. Now, we will have more photos that are going to go on here, but we can always slip this off on the hinge side just like we just slipped it on the hinge side, and it will be okay. All right? So that we can add our photos on the back, on the bottom right here. Okay, but we're going to take this first Peekaboo pocket and we're going to align this up here on the top. We're going to align it with the top of the page, not the top of the page protector. And I'm going to align it so that the Peekaboo pocket is, well, that is fairly centered over the edge there. Okay, so we've got that like so. So that tells me I'm going to need some tabs because that's kind of tricky to flip up. But there is my first one. Okay, what we're going to do, I'm going to come in here and do all of my papers that have the floral on it. No. I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to go ahead and mount my photos on my cardstock and get the rest of my Peekaboo pockets ready to go. And then we'll talk about how we're going to cut the cover sheet. Okay? So here we go. All right, so I feel like I should know how to cope with this better, but this is what happens when you change your mind in the middle of a video. Okay, so I have decided that actually it's going to be a lot easier to do the waterfall on one page and do an introductory page, which meant that I needed to remove the base sheet off of the left-hand side of the layout, because that's going to have just the left side of these pages as its base, and then we're going to do the waterfall mainly on the right side. So I'm sorry to confuse everyone. And it may be easier to just restart this video. I'm not sure exactly, but hopefully my husband will be able to edit this together in a way that it makes sense for you. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken the base sheet off of the left-hand side of the page like I had previously put it. We're going to add it to the right-hand side. So this is the right-hand side. Now you can see this is a brand new page with the hinges on the left. And I'm sorry to have to kind of revamp this halfway through, but I really think this is going to be easier and make a whole lot more sense for everyone. So we're going to add our base sheet to the right-hand side of the page. So this is our right-hand side. The page protector is going to go over top of this right-hand side of the page when we are ready to do that. I'm going to actually hold off on that for just a moment though. Okay, so I'm just going to set that to the side, and I'm going to jump back in here with the left-hand side of the page, which is where we had started before. Okay, so here is the page we did last time. I've got the Peekaboo Pocket secured, so it's not going to be floating around. We're going to just secure this side of that welded base sheet to my page. And then we're going to add these cute photos that are at the very beginning of this to this page rather than adding them to a Peekaboo Pocket. Okay, so this is going to go down right next to the jeeping. And then we're going to come in here with these. Now what I'd like to do is grab some of this same purple. I have this sheet that I had already punched a few things out of, but I think we can go ahead and mat some photos with it anyway. We're going to grab my photo trimmer, and we're going to just trim these up just a little bit to help them all just look a little bit nicer as we add them to this layout. So I'm just going to trim them up just a little bit. That's 4.5, so we're going to just trim this to 3.5 this way. That will make a nice size picture. This wall they had kind of in the middle of the parking area, which was kind of interesting, but definitely a cool feature. We're going to make this a 4x4. This is what the Burren looks like. So reminiscent of our prairie in the States, in places like South Dakota, Nebraska, those kinds of areas. And this is a cool sign that was leading us to the perfumery. So we're gonna just trim that one down just a little bit as well. Okay, so then we will add these to my page here. Excuse me. So these are going to go on here, and this is going to be a kind of an introduction to our subject. We'll go like that. Huh. Okay, I really don't need all that parking lot in there, but I don't want to cover up Kelly. Okay. I think that's gonna go better like that. Okay, and that will allow me to put a title up there, maybe a little bit more down here. Okay, let's get those down. All right, so there is our kind of title page again, with the title will go up here, probably a little bit of an introduction, or maybe an additional title will go down here, and that will get us rolling. So now we are going to move into getting the Peekaboo Pockets ready to go. So I have the top sheet, which is going to be this paper that I have blended, and then I have all of my photos sorted into the Peekaboo Pockets, and I've got all my cardstock cut. So I'm going to go ahead and get my my cardstock ready with my photos, so that all we need to do is add this paper to it, which I will show you how we're going to cut this paper as soon as I have this ready to go. So let's get these ready to go. All right, so I have now finished assembling, well, mostly finished assembling the inserts for the Peekaboo Pockets. And I say mostly because we have a few things we need to do to them before they are going to be done and able to be adhered to the page. So let's get to that. So basically, I'll just run through what I have done so far. So I've just added my photos to the pages, and some of them are a little bit low, but that's okay. They'll just have some corners kind of covered a little bit. And you'll see what I mean when I get that far. But the darker side of the paper, I didn't have to be as worried about. Some of these pictures I may adjust because I realized after putting them on the dark side that I actually don't need to worry about their placement as much. So anyway, you'll see why in just a second. Okay, so that is what I've done so far, and this is our top. This is to represent our top Peekaboo pocket, which is actually already adhered to our page. So I'm just going to move that over there. And that's going to mean that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Peekaboo pockets, because this one's already on the page. So let me make sure I did that right, because the last time I did this, remember, I counted incorrectly and then had to make some adjustments. So this one will go in this Peekaboo pocket that's already adhered to our page protector here. Okay, so then we've got 1 for this one, 2 for this one, 3 for this one, 4 for this one, 5 for this one, 6 for this one, and this one makes 7. Okay, so 7. Let me show you why that's so ultra important. And this is stuff for the very bottom of our page, and this is what we're going to work with now. Okay, so we need to create 7 sections of this, and they need to be horizontal. The top one's going to be 6 inches. So I'm going to pull my arm out like this. The top one's always going to be 6 inches unless you decide that you're designing yours differently. But my top one is going to be 6 inches. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cut through there horizontally 6 inches. And this one's going to go with this right here. Okay, now just so that I don't get thoroughly confused, I'm going to take my little stack of these. I'm going to put them on my left hand side. Okay, I'm going to turn this around as well. No, I'm going to leave it like this. Just for this time, we're going to cut it this way, just to keep me from getting messed up. Okay, so looking at my chart for 7 Peekaboo pockets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 1 in the center, 1 on the edge, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in between. That means we need 1 inch in between each one. Okay, so we are going to do, we're going to cut this at 1 inch in 1 inch segments. Okay, so here's the first one. Hold our breath. Here we go. There's 1. Uh-oh, that one came apart. I'll have to fix that. 2. This is because I wasn't planning on cutting it this direction initially. Plans change, though. It's okay. We can roll with it, right? Right. All right, there is 5 and 6. Okay. Now, we're going to come in here and assemble this. Let me show you how we're going to do this. We're going to take this first piece. Okay, so this is the flip side. So we want this to be on here like so. Okay, so we're going to match this on top of our cardstock. Okay, so just like that. I've got a little peekaboo that I'm going to add to the top. This piece is going to fold over this way, folding over this way. So I'm going to put this in with the top side showing on top, the photo showing on top, photo paper. Okay, I think my cardstock is a little bit long. It's going to be buckling just a little. I don't want that. But, ooh, actually it's not my cardstock. That's the problem. It's the two papers I put together. Okay, well, let's go ahead and put this on. So this is my little peekaboo, and it's going to go right here in the middle. And it's just a little card that we picked up there for ordering and things like that. Okay, so that's number 1. It's going to go down right there. Now, here's number 2. And we're going to take this next strip and we're going to put it down right there along the edge. So it's going to overlap my photos just a little. I'm okay with that though. And it's just going to be pretty right there along the edge. Now I'm going to take my scissors and just trim off this little bit that extends beyond my cardstock. I'll probably take that one out and do the same thing just so that that lays nice and flat. I have another Peekaboo Pocket. This was a little handout that they allowed us to take that talked about the different scents. And so just for future reference, I decided this would be a fun thing to keep. And I trimmed it just a little bit so that it would fit in this little Peekaboo Pocket that is 2.5 by 3 and 3.5 roughly. So that's going to go right there once we put this in our pocket. Okay, so we're going to put this, and there's another, this is going to also be in a Peekaboo Pocket just like that. So go ahead and slide that in there. Just like that. And just so we don't lose them, I'm going to go ahead and slide these inside as well. This one's going to go in here also. I may need to adjust those photos though. Okay, so there's number 2. Okay, here's number 3. And I'm not going to worry about adding that. I'm just going to go ahead and add my papers like so. Okay. There. Okay. Getting there. 2 more. right. So now we're going to come in here and we're going to, we've got all of our Peekaboo Pockets in their pockets and assembled correctly, hopefully. We're going to see how this works. First, I'm going to take this page protector, I'm going to put it on my page. Remember, we already had it assembled because I had something else in mind at first, but changed my mind about halfway through. So here's our first page, our first Peekaboo Pocket. All right, and that one is all good to go. I'm going to take my template that I made, and I made this simply by measuring, taking a spare piece of cardstock, measuring to the center, which is 6 inches, and then I measured half, which is 3 inches, and I measured 2 inches on, let's see, for this particular one, I measured in the center of the page, then I measured every 2 inches, then I measured 1 inch, which was in between each of the 2 inches, and that's how I got 7 pockets. Okay, so I hope that's not too confusing for you, but there is a video that you can refer to right there that will help you to create the basic template. It does not have the 7-inch or the 7 Peekaboo Pocket measurements, but basically you just take your section with the 4 pockets and separate each of those sections in half, and then you'll have enough for 7. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and adhere these other Peekaboo Pockets, and I'm going to start with the last one. I'm going to start with the last one because I find it's easier in some ways. So I'm going to take the adhesive strip off. I don't need to notch the corners because I'm not worried about going underneath anything, but I do want to make sure that the bottom of my Peekaboo Pocket is consistent with the bottom of my page, and I want to make sure that I am adhering this with the same parameters as I adhered that first one, so centering it in an effort to make it so that the seal for the Peekaboo Pocket is even on each side of the page protector. Okay, so here is the last one. I just lined it up with the center here, but actually I was paying more attention to where this edge went down here because that's really most important. All right. Then we're going to take this next one, take the seal off of that. This one we're going to fold over, and we're going to line it up with the next line, the gold line that's right here. But you can also just line up the picture, line up your picture down here at the bottom. Which is why I feel like it's easier to put that one on first and work your way up. And assuming that your cuts were accurate, you're going to be golden. So we'll see how well I did, huh? Let's see. I should be lining it up along each of these lines as well. It should be lining up anyway. Okay, so folding this one over. I have found that there tends to be just a little bit of an overlap, only because sometimes your cardstock's not all the way into the edge or something, so I feel like it's kind of better to line up the picture than to try to line up. Well, here's the last one. This is the moment of truth. Let's see if it all works out accurately. There's some air in there too, so maybe that's part. So it is a little bit, I'm overlapping just a little bit too much. And it looks crooked, and I don't know why it looks crooked. But let's redo this top one and see if that will help. It's going to be way too high. Hold on a second. I think I got crooked. I got more and more crooked as I was going. So this is the cool part about doing this. You can remove it and realign things, and it comes that realignment can happen fairly easily. See if that realigns those better, and if it does, then I'm gonna start again. Well, it's a little bit not high enough, so my lines are off just a little because I put this one a little bit higher, which is okay. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try and do it another way. Let's line it up like this and then put it down. That works too. Let's do that all the way down and see if it works better. Keeping those where they should be. I think this method is working better, so I highly recommend this, that you line them up visually this way so you can see that the pattern is where you want it, and then go ahead and adhere it down. Oh, that one got a little bit, I got a little overconfident on that one. Hang on. Let's try that one again. feel like it got a little crooked as I got a little farther along, but not too bad. Actually aligns pretty well. This last one I think I need to redo. It's a little bit off down here. Still is a little bit off, but that's okay. I will fix it another time. Now what you do is you come in here and you remove your template from underneath, and you can go in and add what you need to this last bit. And actually, we probably could have added it before, but it's all right. We're going to add it now. So this is actually a box from a product, I think it was lotion, that we bought while we were there. Summer Harvest is the name of the scent. It's a very pretty scent. Just going to lift up that page protector so I can get that put underneath. I've got one more photo and a receipt. And the receipt is in a Peekaboo pocket of its own. So we could add that elsewhere if we wanted. And I'm going to add these two little bits. As well, just in case we ever wanted to refer back to the batch number, or we want to know what's in it. There's the ingredients. And this is the seal. So I thought that would be fun to include also. So we're going to add those to this Peekaboo pocket up here. And then this is the Peekaboo that will go down here with the receipt. I'll just kind of put that right there in the middle. Oop. Where did that go? There it is. Cellophane. Oop. Okay, so now we've got our right side and our left side and our right side, and that's the way they will sit in the album. So let me just tell you a little bit about the perfumery. I think I already shared some, but we arrived, and after driving through much of this area, it has a lot of prairie like this. It has a lot of what looks like rocks a little bit, which very different landscape from the rest of Ireland. Very homey experience, lots of plants, lots of beautiful things. This belongs down here. So these Peekaboo pockets are just floating for right now. We were met by this sweet young lady who explained a little bit about the perfumery, and we took pictures of some of the plants that we saw as we stood outside and listened to her talk to us. This was in 2023, and she wasn't speaking to us outside because of COVID or anything like that. She just gathered us together and was starting her little tour, and I say little tour because it wasn't long, but it was very informative. and we didn't have to go very far, so that was great. We went in this building behind her right here, and there we found this sweet young lady with her fiery red hair wrapping soaps. So you can see the soaps here, and you can see all the labels, and she had fun things out here in front to be able to explain all the different oils and things that went into creating the soap. And then we could see the various ones that she'd already wrapped right there. We went next door to where she was into this area, and we learned how they put together their perfumes. And they explained much of that and showed us the process of bottling most of those perfumes. And these are just some other photos of the process that we got to see. And then my sister, my cousin, and two of my daughters went and visited their herb garden. Their herb garden is amazing. So if you go here, make sure you take a minute and go and check out the herb garden. The herb garden that they have is, as it says here, is on the site of the original farmhouse and garden that date back to the mid-1800s. And there are many of these rocks that have been painted on that explain the different plants that you're seeing and what their uses are good for. Echinacea, fennel, different things that they use for scent and for medicinal purposes. They actually have these hoop garden type greenhouses where they grow a lot of things. And they said originally when they started creating the perfumes and the soaps and lotions there, they would gather all of their materials from the Burren, and they have grown so much and are in such high demand that they no longer can sustain their business by just collecting their materials from the Burren. So they have to get those materials from elsewhere for some of these things. But the flowers were just beautiful, and we went into the storefront. I'm just gonna turn this so you can see it better. We went into the storefront, and they had a product of the month, and they explained all about what their customers like about it, and where they came up with the scent, and how much each of the different items they make with it run. And then these are all the different scents that they do make, or they did back in 2023, and their names. So several different scents. You can see there's 7 different ones listed here, and they tell you what their main, they call them top notes, the first things that you smell, the middle notes, and then the base notes of what you are going to smell if you use that product. And here they had a little testing station, which was super nice. It was a really nice and well put together store, and they had a little movie they were playing also that taught us a lot about the Burren and how they came to be. So a really, really nice place to visit. If you have a chance to go by there when you are visiting Ireland, I highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun. And this page, I'm really happy with the way that it has come together. I may actually extend the title over onto this first area of this first Peekaboo pocket. I think that would be appropriate. We'll see how that all comes together, and you'll see that in the flip through when the album is done. Thanks so much for joining me today. I know this was kind of most likely it will end up being a long one. I know it took me a while, but you won't see everything that I did because it'll all be fast forwarded or magically put back together. So I hope that this has been fun for you, and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, would you? Always enjoy hearing from you. Thanks so much. And again, I hope you have many more creative moments. Enjoy your day. So, I'm going to trim these just a little. Cover and then these. Did I count that wrong? That's right. I'm gonna make them fit. Got one. Two. Hey, baby girl, what you doing?